This stream is very serious. We're talking about my lore. We're expanding the Aura universe. We're expanding our minds and the timelines and the sequels and the prequels and the spin-offs. We are expanding our hearts with love and kindness and also maybe some sort of condiment too. It's not just a theory. I'm not MatPat. This is very important. Guys, why aren't you taking this seriously? Look, if you're not going to take it seriously, then I'll have to get the grippers out, and they stink today, I promise. I'm super serious. Oh, I know you're super serious, but listen, not everyone's super serious, okay? So, we have to go back to the year of 2094. This is where it all started, okay? So, the timeline starts with Princess Aura III, question mark. You may be thinking, why the question mark? Well, basically, she just showed up and just gave herself that title. So, we're not really sure where she came from. She just appeared one day. And, basically, she just found this toy crown that she'd got from, like, a Toys R Us or something. Because they exist in 2097. What year did I say? I don't remember. And she was just declared herself princess. And we were just like, you know what? Just let her have it. She's delusional, but you know, it's fine. And she says she's the third. That means there's like a first and a second. But usually the third movie is better than the second, at least with Iron Man 3. I definitely felt that Iron Man 2 was not as good as Iron Man 3. So she's probably better than the second one, but not as good as the first. Why do they look alike? What are you talking about? They're completely different people. So pretty much Princess Aura III got with Kalbora. They met on, what was it? I think it was February 32nd. It was a cold summer's night. I think Kalbora was just like riding their horse, as Kalbora does. Just like chilling out, maxing, relaxing, real cool, shooting some b-ball at the back of the school. Then a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in the neighborhood. Kalbora got into one little fight and his mum got scared. And so she kicked him out and told him to go get married. And there, across the counter at the milkshake bar, was Princess Aura. And Princess Aura, she looked at him, and he looked at her, and she looked at him, and he looked at her, and she looked at him, and he looked at her. And then Kalbora, he was the first one to make a move, right? He decided to do-si-do over to Princess Aura III's seat. And he said, ow. He didn't say that. He said, wow, you're looking mighty fine today. Would you like to be the ye to my heart? And Princess Aura said, no, fuck you. Ah, shit. You got me there, girl. No one's ever swanted me like that before. You got guts. But I'm gonna throw a lasso around that heart. I don't even speak English. What are you talking about? Girl, I think you're the one. I don't even know math. Girl, we're gonna get married and have 7 beautiful children. What's a child? Oh my God, she's a keeper. She knows nothing. And that's how they met, and it was really beautiful. They ended up having a beautiful wedding, looking out onto the abyss. Yep, as you do. It's very romantic when I think about it. And they ended up having not 7 children, because Princess Aura III, actually, she vanished. Something to do with taxes. So Kalbora was left to raise their 3 beautiful children. They never got round to doing 7. Let me continue to show you their 3 beautiful children, okay? Their 3 beautiful children. So we have Bonjora, future me who traveled back from the past, and adopted chicken nuggies. There may be, you know, Kalbora seems to think that Princess Aura III might have had an affair with someone from France, because when Bonjour was born, they spoke perfect French. As for future me who traveled back from the past, or the future? No. Future me who traveled back to their past, or the past me who traveled back from the future? Well, anyway, that's me. I don't know how I ended up there, but I don't know whether I am their child. But I just sort of slotted myself into their existence and they just went with it. Did you reincarnate? Yes. Anyway, let's keep going. So I had children, I guess. Basically, I had 2 children, Pirate Aura and Clown Aura. You can tell Pirate Aura is a pirate because they wear an eye patch, but it wasn't always like that, okay? Pirate Aura just started out as regular Aura with 2 eyes. But then, the accident happened. What accident? Oh, thank you for asking. The accident was, pretty much, they go into a fight with a blender outside Greg's over a sausage roll. And the blender had a screwdriver. And then they played chess. And then the blender said an eye for an eye. And then Pirate Aura took it literally. They had a child. And that was Cat Pirate Aura. Funnily enough, this one was born with the eye patch. It's kind of weird if you ask me. So anyway, Cat Pirate Aura is canon. So Cat Pirate Aura actually married the tomato from VeggieTales. They had a child. They had a beautiful child. And that child was... Sans. I know! Can you believe I'm related to Sans Undertale? I can't believe it myself. Sometimes I don't really understand him though. I felt like every time we're at a family gathering, he comes over me and he says, and I'm like, listen, Sans, I know we've had our differences, but I am a pacifist. I will not do the genocide route. And then he says to me, So we're back over here. So we need to go a little bit far back, actually. So let's explore this timeline. Up here, we have another side of the family. We have T-posing. T-posing. Do you get it? Do you get it? Cause he's T-posing. Well, anyway, the year is 1712. We are situated in Northern Ireland, and T-posing. Well, actually, I looked up the age. Poe is apparently 26 now, I think. That's what it said. They were getting really drunk at a local pub. There was music, dancing, fun, and T-posing was pretty much super drunk. But they'd sobered up a little bit on a packet of Walker's crisps. Then God was there and handed their number. And then T-posing woke up. And, you know, after the night out, noticed that their hand had a phone number written on it. But it was all smudged because of all the sweat. Ugh. And so T-posing went over to Tinky Winky, Dipsy, and Lala and asked them to help them find out what the phone number was. They spent 2 minutes trying to work out what the number was. And seeing as that's just God, his phone number was just 1. So, they just dialed 1 in what was the year again? 1411? Yeah. And then they go through. And then they started a beautiful relationship together. But they had a child, and that child was called 26.3. This is where the timeline gets a little bit fucky-wucky, okay? 26.3, it depends on which timeline you're following. If you're following timeline 77, they got with Aura Ketchupper. But if you're following timeline 5, they got with Gilbert. They're very different timelines. The other timelines, 26.3 died alone. Timeline 5 really got the short end of the stick. What's wrong with Gilbert? Gilbert's got his own peanut car. He's a working... Well, he got... Okay, it's his company car. He got it because he works at D's Nuts. When it comes to timeline 77... You are not... Basically, Ketchupra was really sad. No one was buying them. They were left on the shelf, all alone. It was really sad. But 26.3 noticed their struggle, looked down at the ketchup and said, if you are ever sad, your tears I will catch. And so they ended up moving with each other pretty quickly. The relationship was very long. Up until Aura Ketchupra's expiry date. It was a very sad moment. We noticed for a while, Aura Ketchupra started to stink. But nobody wanted it to be true. You know? Nobody wanted to say goodbye. Nobody wanted to move on. But we knew we had to. We knew we had to say goodbye. As with all these situations, there's always a catch. Up. Ketchup. Do you get it? 'Cause it's ketchup. Well, anyway. So we scooped out what remained of the ketchup, washed out the bottle, and we said goodbye.